everybody, and welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Today I have a special treat for you. This is the first ever subscriber duel. So today we're going up against my buddy Ballzerusher and his Buster Blader deck. Today we're playing our free-to-play Ultrageists. Open up with the Pot of Prosperity, grab the Protocol, play the Meliseek, and set some back row and pass it over. So let's see what he can do. So it looks like he has the normal summon. Buster Whelp can add a Destruction Sword card from your deck to your hand. From what I remember, this deck revolves around trap cards and stacking your graveyard to then Synchro and Fusion from there. So we Protocol, sacrificing the Meliseek to negate and grab the Multi-Faker. And we're going to set more back row and pass. Now he bricked a bit. He drew two of his Buster Bladers. But we actually can't activate any of these trap cards and summon our Multi-Faker until he has a monster. So we're going to just pass it back and forth for a little bit. Just going to set some back row. We're going to Cosmic Cycle in the back row. And so now, we got the gas. We're gonna Marionette her, set the Elf, we're gonna Tribute for the Meliseek. We probably should have hit with the 1600 first, but it's not gonna matter much. Go ahead and link off into Link Karibo, get the search, follow up for next turn. Now we have a trap card we can activate whenever we want. And he drew his other trap card. So now the game is on. And it's my turn again. And we're going to flip the Elf. And he's going to double flip. But we're going to Solemn Warning that. So let's read what his card does really quick. His card says discard one Destruction Sword card, which was his Buster Blader. Special summon one Buster Blader monster from the deck. That's not the important part, though. The important part is you can banish this card from your graveyard and fusion summon a Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, by banishing materials from your graveyard. And he already has that. So I actually mess up by negating this. We summon the Elf. We activate the Multi-Faker. He's going to Destruction Sword Memories for his fusion. So Buster Blader, Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. This is a cool card. Duel Links staple right here. Must be fusion summoned. Cannot attack directly. Gains 1000 attack and defense for each dragon monster your opponent controls or in the graveyard. And change all dragon monsters your opponent controls to defense position, and they cannot activate their effects. Now this is actually one form of negation that I can't get around. So he's going to activate his other trap card. Let's look at what this does. Destruction Sword Flash. If you control a fusion monster that lists Buster Blader as materials, banish all monsters your opponent controls. And then you can negate a targeted effect while it's in the graveyard. Pretty cool. So he's going to banish everything. We get to summon the Silk. Normal summon Marionette. That's why you want to try to use a special summon before if you can. It's the only reason I play the Elf. I know a lot of people don't like to play it. So we're going to try to bounce. And he's going to negate. And we actually bounce our Protocol so he can negate and destroy us. So we mess up there. We're going to set some back row. Activate Marionette, grab the Meliseek, and we're gonna battle phase. Send his Dragon Destroyer to the graveyard, and we're just gonna end there. We're gonna try to get the negate with the Meliseek send again. So he just ends his turn. We're gonna go ahead and flip a Protocol, summon the Multi-Faker. Summon a Marionette. And now it's time for the OTK. You only need 3 monsters for the OTK, especially if it's these 3, it'll work fantastically. So we summon the Hextia, search for the Pukari, and then we can normal summon any Altergeist, link those 2 into another Hextia. That'll return this to the hand. And we're going to Manifestation the 4th monster. So we go ahead and link all 4 into Memory Gant. And this is all you need for lethal. 4300, Memory Gant, Tribute, boost to 7100. And that's the first game down. We did in fact do a best of 3. So let's jump into the second duel. A quick shout out to our opponent today, Ballzerusher. He is a friend of mine. He streams on Twitch. He streams Rocket League professionally. He's played on a few different teams. He sometimes plays other games that he's feeling. You can check him out at twitch.tv/Ballzerusher. Back to the duels. Alright, and we are jumping right into the second duel. This time we're looking from his perspective. So you can see on our side we summon the Marionetter, set the protocol. We do have the Droll, we have an Imperm, we got the Solemn Warning, got a Conquery, not too bad. So he's going to draw. Looks like he's got some good stuff. I don't really know how this deck works. He's got some Resonators, Goblin Bird, Card of Consonants. I'll have to have him do a deck profile for this deck, because it pops off pretty hard in this matchup. So I'm going to draw a Mockbird. It looks like he has no misfortune anyway. So we're going to Solemn Judgment, the normal summon, and that's all he's got. Though he knows that I can't OTK him, so it's kind of bad for me. So we go ahead, we hit in, we do some damage. He's down to 5,600, and we're actually just going to keep everything on board so I can do the bounce. So he draws the Prologue to the Destruction Sword. And this lets you synchro summon the Buster Dragon by sending materials from your deck to the graveyard, which is crazy. So he's going to try the Debris Dragon to resummon, and we're going to negate. And then he has the 1-for-1 for the follow-up. And that's what he's passing on. This thing does not do anything on its own, but it keeps me from swinging into his life points anymore. Now his deck can pop off really hard from the graveyard. These days you would see this deck mixed with Branded, though he's got something a little special going on here. Normal summon the Buster Whelp, gets Impermed. He's got the Prologue. He's going to summon the Synchro Monster, getting around the negate in the column. And then he changed Destruction Sword Memories. This is the one that lets you fusion summon from the graveyard. So now he's got his Dragon Destroyer Swordsman and his Buster Dragon, which is the lock. And turns out this card is usually bait. So he's going to go ahead and misplay into the Vermilion Dragon mech. So we're going to Silkatis bounce. But then he can pop with the Vermilion and swing in. And we actually have no way to summon the Conquery since we need an Altergeist card on the field. Well, let's see. We draw the Solemn Judgment, and that's no good. Now we can get one negate off with the protocol, but you have to flip them both in the draw phase, which I did not do. And so he's going to go ahead and be able to pop with the Vermilion. We go ahead and flip up both protocols now, so that way we can Conquery negate the attack and negate the Vermilion's effects, so he can just swing over it next turn. So let's see what we draw. Got the Manifestation, that's not too bad. will end, and he Prologue of Destruction, which is the synchro from the deck. So this deck is all about doing things you really should not be able to do, and he has Destruction Sword Memories in the graveyard, which is bad news for us, because here we go, once again, Destruction Swordsman, and the Buster Dragon, and this is the lock, so we'll discuss this in a moment. This changes all of your opponent's monsters into dragons, and this says dragon monsters cannot activate their abilities. And even though Altergeist Protocol says the activation and effects of your Altergeist cards cannot be negated, this card does not negate them, it prevents you from activating them. So it actually gets around my protocol very hard. And then Buster Dragon is going to activate to, it says quick effect, you can target a Buster Blader monster you control, equip it with a Destruction Sword monster from your graveyard. So what he's trying to do is equip the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. This says, while this card is equipped to a monster, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. So this is an extra deck lock. So this is a full floodgate deck. Very interesting. Can be very annoying, obviously, in ranked, but I like control decks. I like, you know, playing a more slow game like this. So this was a really fun matchup for me. So we're gonna Protocol, Negate, and Destroy. Getting rid of the lock, though it doesn't matter right now. We're gonna Manifestation, grab our Socatus, and he's got the Raigeki. He's had it the whole game. So we're gonna go ahead and bounce. And we're facing down a Raigeki, and Vermilion attacking directly again. Socatus does add a trap card back to our hand. And Vermilion's gonna pop our Protocol. Oh no, this is where he misplayed and he clicked himself by accident. I forgot about that. So he can summon these. He has the Monster Reborn. He's still got it. That was just a funny misplay. Yep, he's gonna pop the back row, and he doesn't have quite enough for lethal right there. He should have had lethal right then and there. Let's see, can I draw anything to save myself? Not looking like it. Let's see. Goes right into the battle phase. We're gonna Manifestation. Not to. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Okay, luckily we are bouncing. And that's the KO. So yeah, War of Attrition. Buster Blader came out on top. Alright, and time for the third duel in the tiebreaker. And the third and final duel, the tiebreaker. And we're gonna go second. So he's gonna discard to be dragon, draw 2, summon his Buster Welt, search out Prologue, set some back row, and then he can tribute and summon Buster Blader from his hand. So his deck wants all his materials in the graveyard, so I mean a 2600 beater on the field isn't too bad. So we draw the Prosperity, go ahead and banish 6. These are the 6 I typically banish when I have a choice. He's going to activate Prologue. He has both, and this in the graveyard. So he's going to go ahead and set his lock up immediately. So you got the Buster Dragon lock going on. We're going to dig through a Prosperity. What do we get? Pretty good options. What are we going for? The Impermanence. You can Impermanence the Buster Blader, and it will shut off the lock temporarily. Go ahead, summon Marionetter, grab the Manifestation since we have the Protocol, set a bunch of back row, and pass it over. So now let's see what we can do. This will be destroyed at the end of this turn, so we have to use it for something. So he goes ahead, he synchros those two into a Stardust Spark Dragon, which I say, you know what? I'm good. Negate and destroy. He's got the Goblin Bird. We're going to personal spoofing, shuffle back the other Marionether for a multi-faker, which can then summon itself and still fit in the deck. It's actually not going to summon anything from the deck. This is where I found out that the activation is being prevented. And here he rank 8s for a target negate. So he's going to swing in, my guys are down. End phase, we're going to Manifestation for the multi-faker. Now that the lock's not up, we can summon from the deck. Summoning the Silk. Silk's going to bounce, and bounce some back row, because I am really tired of these back rows. Oh, I'm sorry, were you going to negate? Not today. Protocol. Don't even have to negate his ability and tribute. It just makes it to where we can't be negated, and if it doesn't negate, it doesn't destroy. That's what most cards say. Negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So we drew the Moliseek off the top. It's probably the best draw we could have gotten. Attack in and send his back row. No, we're sending the XCs. He's going to try again, and he still hasn't figured it out yet. But you know what? I can get a +1 and get rid of that monster all at once. So, we're going to negate, destroy, and search card. Got the Pukari. Looks like we're going to go into some Link plays. Main 2, we're going to bounce his back row. We're going to set our protocol again so we can flip it for the multi-faker. He's got the back row. He's ready. So we flip the protocol, summoning the multi-faker. And summoning a Meliseek for the free search next turn. You want to always be trying to get a +1. You notice how many more cards we have in play than he does. So we're going to try to bounce his back row here. But he's going to chain his prologue. And he's going to activate his trap card from the graveyard. And then as the last chain, he's going to activate Trap Trick. Since Trap Trick says you can only activate one trap card for the rest of the turn after this card resolves. So you put it last. Get all his trap effects off. Here we go, another Buster Blader Destruction, or what, Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. This deck is so confusing because it's all the same monster, just different names. So we are negated, but I don't think that's going to matter too much. Link monsters can't go to defense mode, and our effects do not need to activate in order to boost our attack power, so we're going to try. And he's going to Destruction Sword Flash. That's rough for us. So we can personal spoofing, save our Socrates from getting banished. And we decide we're going to grab the Conqueror to be more protected. Pukari is going to add himself back to the hand. Meliseek can search for a Marionetter to set back up, and we're just going to have to pass it over. So things aren't looking too great for us right now. He's going to go ahead 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So this card here, I intentionally didn't want to play any monsters because this card can deal piercing damage, moves them all to defense mode, and cannot attack directly, so I wasn't feeling very threatened. Though this card I've never seen before, and it says, 1, if it's Link Summon, you can send a Destruction Sword card from your deck to the graveyard, then special summon a Buster Blader from your hand, which sets up more fusion plays from his graveyard. And it also says at the end of your battle phase, if your opponent controls no monsters, target a Buster Blader monster you control that didn't declare an attack and inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's attack. So even if he goes into battle phase and this thing doesn't attack, at the end I'll still take 2800 damage no matter what. So that's very cool. Gets around the exact downside to their fusion boss monster. So he's gonna go ahead and start attacking. We summon Conquery on this attack and negate his effects so that he will not deal piercing damage to me. And he's going to try to negate the effect, though once again he can't because of protocol. And in the end phase, we're going to spoofing our extra Kukuri away. And I don't know why he's burning that. I literally have no cards to destroy, unless I were to negate with protocol. Let's see if we can swing back from here. Normal summon Marionetter. Set the elf. We're going to tribute for the Meliseek. And this will get around and send the Buster Blitter to the graveyard. Main 2, we're going to link these into Hexia. Get the search. And Kukuri's return to the hand is a once per duel effect, so you won't get that again. And we're going to pass it up. In the draw phase, we activate the elf, get it under the Hexia for the Spell and Trap card negate, and then we're also going to shoot this out for the bounce before he has a chance to do anything. So he's going to summon that, search the extra deck lock, and then he's going to Memories for a Buster Blader from the deck, Synchro into the Buster Dragon straight up, which we are going to bounce. And he's going to try to fusion summon, and I am tired of seeing these fusion monsters, so we're going to negate. And that looks like everything. Couldn't swing over my 1500 guys, and we're going to flip the second personal spoofing, summon Multi-Faker, summon another Stoke. We're going to link. Now we're really going to go up, because I'm getting a little fed up with this duel. So we can return the elf to the hand, summon the Netter, set another card, doesn't matter anymore. I'm going to link these into a Prime Banshee. Hexia is going to search for the Kukuri again. And then Marionetter contribute himself for a Hexia on the left. And we can Kukuri with the Prime Banshee for the Memory Gan. And it is over. Oh yeah, this was my misplay. So once again, I tend to do this. I toggled off by accident and forgot to tribute to the boots. So I think I actually missed lethal here, yeah. So a little mess up from both of us, but luckily they didn't make huge differences in the outcomes of these duels. But yeah, that was the first sub duel that we had, best of 3. I won, which was awesome, but he gave me a good run for my money. So if any of you guys ever feel like dueling, let me know in the comments. Reach out to me on Facebook. We can set something up and we'll duel. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. We're grinding up the rank ladder with Altergeist right now, and I have a new deck to show you, so expect some new videos in the coming days. Thanks everybody, and have a wonderful day.